Welcome to the Poundcast. Today we have really cool guests. We have Alexandra Jade and Gabe Bernini, creative filmmakers, musicians, creative people. They're going to be out here in a minute. But first, I just wanted to tell you about this website I'm checking out here. LVJ Co. Look at this. LVJco.com.
Huh.
And they're doing plant-based jerky. Okay. And I've had it many times. It's, yeah. If you're looking for plant-based jerky, that is bagged in the U.S., made in Louisville, all plant-based, shelf life in 9 months. You got to go to lvjco.com and use the code word Poundcast to get 20% off your whole order. And look at this. They got Pizzeria Supreme Jerky. That flavor in the small batch is back. Small batch cheddar jalapeno popper.
I need that now.
Small batch Fly By Jing Sichuan chili crisp.
I want that too.
And look, small batch Nashville hot chicken.
I want them all.
They're all here at lvjco.com. Use the code word Poundcast. Get 20% off your entire order. Or you can buy Louisville vegan jerky at your local store if you live near a Sprouts or a Whole Foods or whatever. Look.
Back in the United States, shelf life in 9 months, and they have a new small batch flavor every month. It's so fun to find out what flavor's next.
I can't wait to see what's coming up next.
Anyway, check it out. And again, use the code word Poundcast to get 20% off your order. That's lvjco.com.
Now check this out. Our show is brought to you mostly by listeners and viewers like you. By going to patreon.com/Poundcast, sign up for our Patreon. And you will get access to the bonus content that we do every single episode that we call Unzipped. Every show, we stop and we give that first chunk that goes out free to everybody. But then when you go to patreon.com/Poundcast, you get more.
The chunk becomes chunkier.
You get chunkier. The chunk goes chunkier. You get more, and you get access to all the old Unzipped and After Dark episodes that we've ever done by going to patreon.com/Poundcast. And you will feel great by supporting a little mom and pop Poundcast such as this. And if you want to watch the show, it's we're on YouTube. We're being filmed right now at the All Things Comedy Studio, youtube.com/The Poundcast. We are on all the social medias at The Poundcast. Correct?
That's right.
What else we got? Anything else you need to mention?
You got your tour with Eric Andre coming up.
Yeah, ericandretour.com. I'm opening up all the dates, and I'm doing sound effects for every single show. We're coming to the Midwest. We're going to Texas. We're going to the Northwest. And we're going to the East Coast. See you there.
And I'm doing some shows with Moshe Kasher at the Punchline Comedy Club in San Francisco, October 11th through the 14th, which probably is this week. Okay, so come check it out if you dare. And let me know if there's any gigs to be had in November.
Let you know?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Meaning, hey, I don't know, if you had somebody fall out at your college or something like that, you need somebody to fill in, I'm available.
Yeah. Get Brent in there. Hook him up.
November's available. November's open, so let's do that. Let's set something up.
It's not going to be open for long because you know he's going to get booked.
So
hit up Brent. You know what? Let's bring our special guests out. But first, we have a remix.
Yeah, this is
by a Pound Pimple.
Yeah.
This is another bonus of signing up for our Patreon. You get access to the stems, and you can make your own remix of our theme song. This one is by Joshua Waldman. It's called Poundcast Theme Song Newtist Remix. Can't wait to listen. Should we roll the clip?
Yeah, you want to roll a clip? I guess we're going to roll this way, right?
We're going to roll this way.
I think we're going to roll this way. Let's roll the clip.
A lot of people think I'm Dutch, but I'm not Dutch. I'm a businessman. This nickel back here, there is no need. There is no.
Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent. Talking to each other. Doug and Brent. What will they talk about to Doug and Brent? Are talking to some pimples. Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent talking on the Poundcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Poundcast. What is this episode number?
I don't know, something like
We don't
260
know.
or something. Oh, you know what? It's probably 260.
Today we have very special guests, matching guests, Alexandra Jade and Gabe Bernini. Welcome to the Poundcast, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, it's great to be here.
You know, it's cool to have some guests that want to be here and put some effort into it, you know?
I mean, what a presentation.
What a presentation.
Well, thank you. We said going into this that, this is a place we want to be. We want to be here. We want to get to the, to the pod and show our best face, put our best foot forward as far as the pod goes.
Are you this, prepared or as thoughtful about other things you do? Going to the store together or whatever?
I'd like to think that we collaborate and, it's a lifestyle being collaborative partners.
Uh-huh.
So you guys are, let's back up. People are probably like, who are they?
Who are these mysterious?
No, I don't think that
Who is this mysterious couple?
We can keep it a mystery for a while, but. So you guys are a creative couple.
Yeah, that's true.
You're
yeah.
you're each individually creative.
True, exactly.
Because when I first met you guys, it was on the volleyball court. That is now immortalized on Poundhouse Season 4, Episode 1.
Yeah.
Exceptionally well.
That's the very court, not the very players, some players.
Right. We had to sort of talk about that after the screening of it. That
Were you bummed that
We
you
actually
a bit
weren't?
of a confrontation.
we weren't in the video, but
Well, the thing
Well,
is,
you
we
thought-
tried to find the tallest people possible.
right.
And I mean, you guys are tall, compared to me. Consider you both very tall. But we wanted like 6 foot
Right.
plus tall.
Right.
Athletes.
Right.
Not
We dunkers.
John Hine.
just jocks. You know what I mean?
We wanted some dunkers.
We wanted these freaking jocks.
Right. Well,
We needed
the video
Doug
came
to
out.
look
When we had the
great.
party scene, we were like, Gabe's perfect for that.
Yeah, exactly. And then I came through for the party scene.
I actually
Yeah.
haven't seen the second half
Oh,
yet.
you gotta see
I
it.
need to see it.
It's great.
been left on a
I really
cliffhanger.
enjoyed it.
Well,
Good job.
we'll give you a big role one day. It's
Thank you.
We have to start you guys off with something small.
I understand. It's the process.
Anyway, we met on the volleyball court. I don't know what year that was. 2021, maybe. Back in the heyday
Right.
of volleyball in the park.
I think it was 2020.
No
No,
way.
it can't be. It definitely was not. No, it was 2021 for sure.
Yeah, because me and
Yeah,
my friends,
it was the
I would
spring.
try to get people to play at the beach.
Yeah.
And then one day, Robbie or Zizi's friend Gabe,
Ultimate Gabe.
Gabe Ruimi, the assistant camera guy on Poundhouse Season 4. He was like, we're going to play volleyball randomly in the park. And then clash of the
Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it turns out all you guys were,
Titans.
all those people were Titans.
Yeah.
Young and up and coming Titans of creativity. We had Will
Yeah.
and Pierce. We had them on the show.
Yeah.
Now they moved away. They're in New York.
I know.
Shame.
I know. It is a
It's
shame.
a shame. That's a
Yeah.
drag.
You know what the opposite of Titans is? Loose ends.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know,
No loose ends
right.
here.
No loose
No.
ends, just Titans.
Not on the court, no. But I remember that day very well because it was a big transition for volleyball in general because there really was sort of one community of like mostly people who had gone to Emerson and knew Pierce and Will, and they were all playing volleyball, and we got invited, and it was like. Then I don't know how Gabe Rumi got invited, but then when you guys all came, it was like
You
it
guys were like,
really
okay,
popped
volleyball's
off.
over.
No,
It jumped the shark.
no,
It was fun, but then these new people.
No, it was at its strongest form.
Yeah.
I think that first
Yeah, that was crazy.
we were
'Cause
doing
there
it like
was-
4 times a week at some point.
Yeah, because you could just text people and there would be like 20 people that would show up at any time. But then also in that period, that was happening at like shows and bars and things. People would be like, I have a show tonight or a thing tonight. And the whole volleyball crew would
I
come
know.
through. And it was a real scene for a moment. It was very exciting. It was good to be a part of.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not quite the same anymore.
No, it's not. But, you know, all things must.
Why is it not the same? Is it's too mainstream now, or is too
I don't know what
corporate?
happened.
Too
People,
much corporation,
got
too much corporate sponsorship, or
I think
Yeah.
maybe the popular kids moved to New York.
Pierce
You know what?
champion somehow.
We should be the popular one.
I know. I think we are in a way. I think we're still holding strong.
after this episode
We're
comes
still
out, you
playing.
will be.
Yeah,
Wow.
you don't have to be.
Wow.
I mean, him too.
Anyway,
after this
I bet-
episode, because of you guys, you know what I mean? Like this, because of you, it makes this episode makes you popular. You know?
right.
You never know. Well,
Exactly.
anyway, Gabe makes music. You've heard it.
Yeah,
I've seen his
it's
band
good.
play.
Classic style.
Thanks.
Classic style.
Well, the funny thing also is that I opened for you guys with my comedy show in my hometown in Northampton.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What the?
Remember that?
What?
He was the opening act.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa, you were there?
Yeah. Do you remember this show?
Yeah, the White Horse or something
the
like that?
Iron Horse,
Iron
yeah,
Horse?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
realize you were in that.
Yeah,
So funny.
That's
that was
weird.
my talk show. We opened for you guys at that show, and I was playing music a lot at the Iron Horse, and so I knew the people who ran it. And I just asked them if we could open for you guys, and they let us do it. And it was a really funny show, and it was very strange. We like had a couch on stage and stuff.
Yeah, what
vaguely
happened
remember
again?
that.
What happened again
I
on
vaguely
that?
remember
We
that.
like we it was a real production because it was like a talk show, and we had a couple guests come up, and one of the bits that we did was that a guest came on stage, and then we got called off the stage and brought down into the basement of the venue while we were still like talking on the microphones, but we had pre-recorded what we were saying, so it was like a pre-recorded thing of what was happening downstairs.
Yeah.
And we included you guys in that bit. We were like saying that you guys were downstairs and stuff.
Wait, did you like do?
We like recorded it like the week before.
But you didn't do our voices.
No,
That would have been funny.
good.
Right. Yeah, like what would
Yeah.
you do if you had to do our voices?
If I had to
Yeah,
now,
do Doug if you can.
I'm not gonna.
You're not good at that kind of thing.
I'm not good at that kind of thing.
Take a shot at it.
I can do Doug easy. You ready?
Yeah, right.
I'm Doug.
The bit that we did was that you guys were sitting in the same seat. We were saying like, you guys don't have to sit in the same seat like that. You can, there's
So
more
you didn't hear our
seats.
responses? You
Yeah,
were
there
just
was no
talking to us?
response. Yeah, it was,
We're just stoic.
yeah.
We were just kind of silently sitting in each other's laps.
But you guys were watching us while we were doing that, so you were actually
yeah.
visibly upstairs.
That's why we were upstairs
Yeah.
watching. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Confusing, very conceptual
It was a conceptual piece.
production.
Were you in that one too?
No, this
Yeah.
is.
No, prior we hadn't met.
Oh, you hadn't met yet.
Yeah.
What?
no.
How old were you? Were you in high school or were you? In
No,
college?
no. I was in college at the time. I think this was like
2016.
Yeah, or 2017, 2016. Yeah, I think it was 2016. Yeah. That was like a
How about
East
that?
Coast.
7
That
years
was a
ago.
while ago.
yeah. it's
7 years
crazy.
ago. It was
Yeah.
probably October too, as well. Probably.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Maybe.
Well, then how did you guys meet?
Out here in LA, actually.
Oh, out here.
Yeah,
But where are you from?
I'm from Washington State.
Oh, that's a whole different part of the
It's a
country.
whole other
It's crazy.
place. Yeah.
It's a whole
crazy.
other place.
Grew up in a rural small town out there. Do you know Mr. Hands?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Enumclaw? Are you from Enumclaw?
Enumclaw. Yeah, that's where
Whoa.
I'm from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know when I went out? I might have told this before, but when I would be on tour with Tim and Eric, especially the earlier tours,
Yeah.
people had no idea who I was, and I would be the opening act to warm up the crowd for like 10 minutes. Sometimes there'd be like some person heckling like, "When's Tim and Eric coming up here?" or whatever, just yelling at me.
Yeah. Right.
I started asking the sound guys or the local staff at the venue, I'm like, what's the local town around here that is like the shithole? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fun to make fun of, that the locals make
That
fun
everyone
Right,
will
right.
get
of.
behind.
And when I was in Seattle, they were like, Enumclaw.
That is funny.
That's where the guy got killed by the horse.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
being had sex to death by the horse. Anyways, sure enough,
Yeah.
somebody yells out at me heckling in the middle of my set, distracting me. I go, "Hey, shut up, go back to Enumclaw." And the crowd was like, "Yeah!" I won the whole crowd over.
Wow.
And it was the best. And I would
Wow.
do that. I remember in Philly, it was like, "Go back to Cherry Hill," or something like, what's it called? Cherry something? I don't know.
That's
but
a good.
I don't know.
That's a good thing
Was
to
that
have
right?
up your sleeve. I
yeah.
feel like just.
I would, and then I would write it down on my little paper in front of me.
You have a database of
Yeah,
all the bad
exactly.
towns
Just the
I want to
worst
know
town
your
out
city.
there.
Massachusetts one.
I got a database.
Yeah.
Wait, now if we came out to Northampton,
Yeah.
where would you say?
This is a funny thing for me to say
Massachusetts.
about my own
Oh, Revere. When I was in Boston, Revere.
Revere.
I was like, "Go back to Revere. Everyone was like, "Yeah,
Revere.
Revere." Yeah, that was right in front. This girl was like, when's Tim and Eric coming on? And she just like didn't want to see anything different besides Tim and Eric. Anyway, I said,
would
"Go
say-
back to Revere." She got destroyed.
She got owned at the show.
She got owned hardcore.
I think if you were in Northampton, the one.
Go to Southampton.
Yeah, I don't think there is one actually.
East Hampton?
Maybe there is an East Hampton, but there's a Belchertown. Belchertown.
Oh, I heard about that.
I haven't spent much time there, but it's got a rough name. I think people would find that funny.
Oh well, what's the town that we drove through that has? It's like famously incestuous. I feel like that would be a good burn.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Norwich.
It's
England.
Ware, Mass is the town.
Ware?
She's talking about. Yeah, Ware, which I think is a cool town. I don't think it's incestuous. I think it's cool.
We're really putting Massachusetts on blast.
Yeah, I know.
Quick little question.
I love every town.
Why was the guy called Mr. Hands?
I actually don't remember. They didn't use his real name because he had like a wife and kids when this happened.
That was just like his online name or something?
Yes.
Or was that the name of the horse? You know how horses have weird names like
Mr.
that?
Ed, Mr. Hands. Yeah.
Well, it's also, or just they have, racing horses have these weird,
Right.
These kind of weird names that are
God.
Yeah.
phrases and
That
stuff.
would be horrible if that was the name of the horse. I don't know. That's
No, I definitely
more
know that the
disturbing to me
guy.
for some reason.
Yeah,
The guy was Mr.
Hands. But maybe it was his
It's
online.
such a demented story. I learned about it from you, but you've brought it up a few times to other people. Everyone knows exactly
People
what you're
know.
talking about
An
right away.
award-winning documentary was made about it.
Well, let's roll the clip.
Yeah, can we bring?
Did you-
Aaron, can you pull that up?
Yeah.
Just kidding. Do not. Don't want to see that.
So did you?
There's a footage of it, right?
Right. I think
Yeah.
that's of not
And-
the moment, not him dead.
Well, there's like
He died later.
I can't remember. It's been
he died
so
later.
long
in the
now.
hospital.
That was the whole thing.
Well,
is that
we got the good shot.
But he got fully
Stuff,
ripped
right?
open, right, or something like that.
I think his like appendix exploded,
Eesh.
but he didn't want to go to the hospital and say why.
It's like Houdini.
that happened. It's
Well,
like
that's
kinda-
why we have to
Exactly
have
like
this.
Houdini.
You got
I have
punched
this
in the stomach.
idea. It's one of my bits, but it's like a 911 for embarrassing emergencies like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's called 6911. And you could call up and they're not going to judge you. They're like, "What's up? What'd you get into? You got a hamster up your butt?
Oh, you got to.
All right, Mr. Gear, we'll be over there. And you know what? We're not going to send the ambulance. We'll send like a Tesla X,
Oh, that's good.
Right.
and we're going to just come and." They're cool.
Right.
They're like,
Yeah.
"Don't worry about it, man. It happens to the
stress.
best of
Yeah.
us."
This is a movie,
6911.
Yeah.
They have
that
like
could be a whole movie.
aftercare like specialists that soothe you, you know, and like it's okay, you can still.
They don't come in rushing in with like sirens and
no sirens.
they're not scary. They're cool. They come
drive
in
really
like,
slow.
hey,
They're
man.
actually playing EDM.
Hey man, what's up? Yeah, there's a soundtrack.
Yeah.
They're like DJing.
Yeah.
Vaping, a lot of
That's cool.
vaping. That's
Like
good.
the sound system on their ambulance is like, it just sounds like it's kind of like an emergency, but they use that siren for the rave. You know what I mean?
yeah, kind of put you at ease.
Yeah.
What's the
So you feel
vetting
normal.
process for somebody hired to
6911?
Yeah. Like what's
You probably have to have had prior experience with gerbils, maybe, or something like that. You know,
ex-pet
Mostly-
store
Or
clerks.
horses.
Gerbils
Or
is
horses.
the real problem.
Ex-veterinary, like you couldn't pass vet school.
Right. You got some of the knowledge, but
Yeah.
you were too chill to actually.
But also you're like an ex-raver.
yeah, you
know,
definitely you went
used
to
to
Burning Man at
party,
least
but you
once.
don't anymore. But you still like to go dancing.
Right.
Right.
You know, something like
You
that.
probably you have to own at least one tie-dye shirt. But you know, you have to get at least B's in school. You know, at least
Right.
B's. You know. So,
we're not
you know,
trying to. Yeah.
Right.
You are
Not
still trying to help
anyone.
people.
Yeah.
if you can't get A pluses though, you can't go that high.
Right.
It's got to be.
It's a thin margin.
It's basically B's to A minuses, and then you're okay to work for this company.
I like the idea of considering people's grades still, you know, in kind of the work environment, asking them what kind of grades they got
Yeah.
for a job.
That's actually really funny for a job interview. So tell me, So what kind of experience do you have? Oh, well, you know, I volunteered in, with AmeriCorps for a number of years, and you know, did some work in San Francisco. Okay, and then tell me about your grades in high school. What were they like? Oh, you did get a C+ once, huh? Okay. Well, we'll let you know.
Yeah. I contacted Miss Miller from your 7th grade
Yeah.
science class, and she said you were a little bit disruptive. How do you feel that that's carried off into your adult
People
life?
used to care about their GPA. I remember there was a lot of, you know, I had a big insecurity about my GPA.
Insecurity.
Yeah.
What did you have? Did you go to? You went to Harvard or
What
something?
was it?
I went to Harvard. Bad GPA.
Wait, did you go to Harvard?
Wait, your GPA in high school
You
or
went to
in
Emerson?
college?
No, I went to Hampshire College.
Oh, Hampshire.
Hamster?
Hampshire College.
Hamster College.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
that's
Hey, man,
Richard Gere's alma mater.
You might be quite qualified to work for 6911.
Right. Exactly.
I don't care what grades you got.
Okay grades at Hamster.
But I got. I think I tried hard in high school, but I got not good grades. You know, I was one of those kind of, you know, the worst.
What'd you get on your
Both
SAT?
What is the scoring like on that?
Well, I don't know.
What
When
is
you did
that?
it might have been different than when I did it.
I did
but
it twice. I know that I did it
I
twice.
did it 5 times, by the way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Trying
really?
to get the highest one?
Trying to get the high score.
No.
Really?
No.
Trying to beat my own high score.
What was your highest score?
Not that high. I got my highest score was 1270.
So nobody was making
Sounds
you
high.
take it
Wait,
5
wait.
times? You just
This
What?
is not
nobody
right.
made you take it.
Nobody
that
made me
many
take it. I was trying to just get a decent score. I was trying to get a good enough score.
Right.
What school are you trying to get into?
Just a good one.
DeVry Plus?
DeVry Plus.
Wait, back up. Yeah, you don't have to divulge your scores, okay?
No, no,
it's
I'm
none of our business.
But I'm happy to hear it.
I never took the
Yeah.
SAT. I took the ACT.
You didn't take SAT?
Oh.
I took ACT.
Did you go to community
You know what
college?
that
at first?
is?
No.
I think it's like the
Theater. It's theater. It's a theater course.
It's the
Well,
Midwest
there was
AC,
there was
SAT.
another
Oh.
right. There was another one. Yeah.
There was, but
But I thought it was.
it was more
But
for
I
improvisation.
was just trying to go to I wasn't trying to go to
Any
You went to
fancy-
community
Emerson or Lake or Palmer or wherever the hell you guys went.
Did you go to community college at first?
college.
You did at first, yeah.
Then I went to film school, but they didn't care.
That's
about
what I
me.
did. I went to community college and then film school
Oh,
at Hampshire.
So you're a filmmaker and a musician,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's been my deal.
and Alex, you're a poet
and a laureate.
And a laureate.
and a laureate.
Yeah, kind of.
Wait, what's your background besides going to the?
What grades did you get? What's
Besides-
your SAT?
Besides living next to that infamous horse stable.
Yeah, where'd you go to Horse University?
I did go to equestrian school. It's kind of the only way out of that town on a horse.
Yeah, right.
It's a one-horse town.
Gallop.
Yeah, I
over.
also went to community college first, and
Nice.
then Western Washington University, and yeah, and then moved down here.
We
Not
met
too
at,
excited.
You don't need to
at-
go to these Harvards and these BS like UCLA
No.
crap.
No, you need to go to
Yeah, you
a school
just
with
gotta go to a
the
school-
ultimate frisbee team.
Dude, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and a rowing team. Those were our sports teams.
Really?
In Western, yeah. Real Washington granola
This is
stuff.
the same at Hampshire. Very, very
I know,
similar.
very just opposite
Yeah.
sides of the country.
That's how
very
you met,
similar.
actually. It was just
That's
bonding
actually
on
how we
what
met.
clubs you guys had,
Yeah.
sports you had at your
You guys
I
were
got my
both rowing
frisbee
against each other on the
on-
Mississippi, right in the middle.
Exactly.
But I was going to say, before, remember the 6911?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Well, this is kind of related to that. It made me think of something else. So you got firemen, right?
right.
But in this day and age, with climate change, we got all these floods.
Mm.
How come there's no watermen? I want to be in the watermen.
Yeah.
I want to be a waterman.
I'm Waterman.
Right.
Yeah, like instead of sliding down a pole, you like go down a slide, like you splash down like
Just
into a
wearing bathing
pool.
suits
That'd be
all the time?
sweet.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
You're just wearing bathing suit all the time.
It's like you wear
get in a
sp-
boat. You get in this cool boat.
Well, you
Yeah.
wear a Speedo and one of those hats. You know, it's like it's kind of like a fireman hat, but it's more geared towards. It's an umbrella, kind of. It's like,
Like
an
a
umbrella.
fisherman's
It's a fisherman
style.
hat and a
Yeah.
Speedo. You know.
Yeah, you're up there like the Gordon Fisherman, big yellow outfit, but you're just pumping water out. Or maybe you come with a flame.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite.
Oh yeah,
And you're like boiling the water away.
that's funny. You're evaporating.
Yeah,
it.
you're like,
Yeah.
That's
firemen
really
and the
funny.
watermen are like-
It's a flame. That's really funny.
because the firemen use water. They should be called watermen, right?
Right.
Right.
Interesting.
And the watermen
Well, they fight
use
fire. So the watermen use a flame to fight fire.
Right. So
Like
you're
a
actually
cowboy
still,
should be called a horse boy.
right. You're still a
Right.
fireman,
That's true.
but
Yeah.
you've got the
That's
wrong
true.
people calling you, and you're bringing fire to them for floods. So you're also a fire. I think you should pitch a fireman.
Yeah.
You know.
Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I will
Let's
say
pitch
this.
this to City Hall.
Fire. Water beats fire, but fire doesn't really beat water. That's the issue.
Right.
That
You
is
know what I
the
mean? You
issue.
can't fight water with fire, but you can fight fire with water. You know what I mean? So
Do you think my concept? I believe that you're gonna be. Do you think?
no. I want to take it to the next level. I want to.
Okay.
No, I like it.
Okay.
And I just want to adjust it a
Maybe
little
if
bit.
the fire was hot enough, it would beat the water.
That's
Trust
true.
me.
It's got to be a major flame, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe you can. I think you can fight water with
more water.
ice in a way. It's liquid
Whoa.
nitrogen or something like that.
Oh, you freeze
you
it.
freeze it, and then you can contain it better, maybe, and then you kind of chip it away.
You stop.
I don't know what I'm talking
What about
about.
what about sponge boys?
Sponge
Sponge
men?
good.
Just
Sponge
throw
men.
in a bunch of sponges or those balls that like expand times 10. They
or
put
a
in the
Sea
one
toilet.
big
monkeys?
sponge.
Those ones that they put in the bathtub and
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
those
yeah.
like little
How about
balls?
those
They kinda come to life.
crabs and things you put in the water and they get big, you know? Yeah. Do that. Let's do that.
And then you can play
Huge.
after.
Yeah.
Anyway, we should make this movie. We'll write it.
All right.
What if we
After you
just
guys
this is
make
a
your
movie.
movie.
I
By
was-
the way, they're making a movie. We should probably get to that at some
Yeah.
That's the whole reason they're here.
Okay, but how did you start together? Where'd you meet?
They met down here in L.A.
Yeah.
Where?
Right. Well, we met. When I first moved, I moved to Echo Park like 5 years ago, and I started doing screenings at Stories where Alex works.
Oh, you work at the Stories bookstore.
Yeah.
They do comedy shows there, as you probably
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was a cool scene, and I was able to kind of start doing screenings there, and I met a bunch of people through that, and then
Were the screenings outside?
yeah, they were on the patio.
Oh, I didn't know you had screenings back there.
Well, you can if you want to. You know,
You just
it's-
got to set it up yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
We have the stuff to do it. I don't know. It's always been janky trying to do anything that includes anything more than a microphone back
Sure,
there.
sure,
but it is doable.
Yeah, it was
Those
fun.
those shows you do get packed.
Yeah.
They're like 2-pack.
Yeah, they
2-pack.
Very
Two-pack.
Tupac.
sold,
He was there.
sold out.
sold
Actually,
out.
Tupac just,
Yeah.
there's news about Tupac lately. Anyway, carry on.
He lives?
He lives. They now have charges against somebody who
Oh my
might have
god.
been behind his murder or something like that, or there's some new
Are you breaking the news
development.
Are you right?
Yeah,
Do
this
you?
is-
Sorry, we're
Your
breaking news. Hold that thought.
No, there's a guy. The guy who shot him apparently he got killed not that long after him, but his uncle apparently might have been behind the murder, and he is. either got arrested recently or something is going on.
Interesting. I do feel like this is one of the kinds of things that, like, every 2 years they have more information about. I just saw something about JonBenet Ramsey also.
Oh.
And that's something I feel like every few years they're like new information
I
about
love when this
this.
new information comes.
Well, there was actually new information about Richard Gere. Turned out there really was a gerbil. No, I'm
It's
just
been
kidding.
going back and forth for a while.
The gerbil's grandfather spoke.
Yeah. It was the. Yeah.
Right, the DNA evidence traced back to a Petco in Malibu that goes directly. Anyway,
So
okay, so you guys met at the
met at
Stories.
Stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say, oh, hi, do you work here?
Yeah.
And she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm behind the cash register. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it happened. We talk a lot about how our first date was with masks on because it was COVID. It was deep COVID time.
Deep COVID.
Which is so bizarre looking back now that we were outside. We were walking around with masks on.
So you just had to really focus on each other's eyes,
Yeah,
and that's how
just
you
a
fell in
lot
love.
of
Yeah.
It's kind of like Love is Blind, where it's like you're hearing more than you're seeing.
It's
Right.
true.
Or it's kind of like Love is, 2020 in a way, because their eyes were exposed and they could totally see. They were focused on the
Right.
eyes.
Love is 2020.
Love is
Love is
2020.
2020.
That's another
you know?
movie. This is good to go.
Yeah.
Has there been a COVID rom-com already?
I don't
feel
want it.
Yeah.
I
feel like we need to make it.
I did.
You did.
I saw it. Yeah,
You saw
there
one?
was it was a web series though. It was a web series, but it was called Game Boys, and it's about these Filipino boys on. And they do. It was Anyways, these Filipino boys.
I think
and
you told me about this.
Yeah, I got sucked in.
So
It's on YouTube.
It was all boys,
It's two boys. Yeah,
and they fall in love with.
they
each
fall in
other?
love with each other, kind of, online, and then they eventually do meet. But it's during COVID-19, and COVID issues are part of it. One of their
Right.
parents gets sick with COVID, and maybe
Right.
even, has. Maybe dies. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember.
You can tell us. I'm not
I
watching.
forgot.
this show.
Oh, you don't want to watch Game Boys?
The
I
web
got too much
series?
other shows to watch.
Yeah.
I got to watch
lot of
your
shows.
movies.
Yeah.
Wait, did you
We
bring
got-
VHSs?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got a lot of
Let's
merch.
display.
All right.
I mean,
Brought
you don't have to
merch.
give it to us, but
No, we can give
I just want to see it. It looked cool.
So what happened is we started making these.
You started making shorts
Short
together,
films.
short, and these are sort of slasher. What do you call these?
Anthology.
No, it's called like grindhouse kind of
Oh, yeah.
stuff. Is
Yeah,
that what you call
definitely.
this?
Yeah.
The movies you make?
We call it Grindhouse.
Grindhouse. Now this is triple thriller. Night of the Black Glove, House 666, and The Incarnate.
Yeah.
Now this just has a cool look. And you put fake patina on
Here's
here.
the thing: is that
Didn't ya?
we're waiting for the slip cases still, but these are great for now. And I think when we get the slip cases, that's really going to come together.
Yeah.
People are going to think it's a real, like a classic VHS,
You mean-
cardboard case.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it'll look more normal,
Yes.
but we couldn't get a new design.
Well,
so.
these are great.
No, those they
These
had
look
that
great.
too. That looks
Yeah, they would get
that
a
looks
little
legitimate
bit.
too. Now, you guys bonded on horror at first or what?
No, not at all.
No,
actually.
yeah. No.
No.
No, you
Weird
bonded
you'd
on.
ask that.
Wait, let me guess what you bonded on.
There was actually
Rom
one.
com. You bonded on thriller. Like it's another genre. Like it's another genre.
It was one genre. You'll get it.
This is great.
Oh wow, look at the back. You got
Yeah, you wanna take a
good
look?
special effects.
You know,
So
this
big one
does,
was-
they don't clap.
Do you
they
have a
don't- They
VHS?
don't close too great.
Yeah, I know. What's going on with that?
Wait, no,
have
there
a-
it goes. I got it.
Okay, good.
Do you have a lot of videotapes at home?
Yeah. Well, I guess it all began
Floor to ceiling.
It almost in certain parts of of my house. There's basically Pierce Campion, who was on the pod. He moved to New York and he gave me his VHS player, his VCR, and
And 8 different copies of Godzilla.
yeah, he had he's obsessed
Which
with
Godzilla?
All the different ones.
like a million. I think it's even more. It's like a DVD package, with like a million things because it's a DVD VCR. So I got it both. So anyway, he gave me this, and at the time I didn't have any sort of reason to watch anything on VHS. But the store Whammy had just opened in Echo Park, which is a VHS only store. And so we went there, and I was really ready for it to be like a, sort of hipster, like annoying kind of like, oh, like it's VHS as a joke.
It seems like a Portlandia sketch or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we went just like, oh, we'll check it out. And I did not expect it to become like part of my life and routine in the way that it has. And my just like, I don't know. Maybe you can describe how deeply, I don't know. I really fell for it. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Because when we walked in, it was like, it's just a normal kind of video store, and there's all these movies all over the walls.
And they're all for sale, or
and they're all
rent?
for sale, and they're affordable too. Most of them
They're
are like
used.
$3, and they're used.
Yeah.
How do they afford a storefront in Echo Park selling $3 tapes?
They sell the tapes. People buy them, and
Do they sell VCRs?
yeah, they do. Yeah.
And
Occasionally.
do they sell CRT TVs?
Yes,
They do.
I bought one there. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think they get like, I don't know, Eric, one of the owners, will not reveal his sources, but they'll get like, he'll be like, I have 5 like boxes of like VHS, unopened VHS players or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll cut, or VCRs, and they'll just, I don't know. I think people just give them to them. So
Yeah, so
Pretty good.
they've got a business there, but they also have like a micro cinema where they screen things.
And that's where you screen your films
Yeah,
Saturday
so
night,
we've
which I
been-
really wanted to go to, but
Yeah,
I couldn't. Couldn't go.
Well, no worries.
This is
Well-
Wednesday night. We were right here.
Oh, really? You had a pod?
Well, then I had to get ready for something else right after.
Whoa.
Anyway, boring. Boring.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like, I don't know. There's something so. I think for me, it was a big relief to be buying the VHS because I really want to watch movies. I am like really obsessed with movies, but the intensity of like scrolling through these different streaming services is very like annoying and stressful, where we can never decide what to watch for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We're talking about which one, and every time I'm thinking there's something better that I should be watching. Like I've made the worst choice. This is not the right decision. But now with the VHS, it's just like I'm so excited to watch whatever I get, and it just looks awesome, and it's the actual quality of the VHS is fun to see, and there's the trailers and everything, and so it totally changed our minds, and we got like obsessed with this.
How big?
When you were growing up, you didn't have VHS.
Yeah, a little bit, not for too long, but a little bit. Yeah.
How big is your TV? How many inches?
Well, I have 2 now.
CRTs.
No, I only have one CRT.
That's what I
It's
mean.
one of the small ones. It's like
Oh.
this. It's like
Oh, okay. It's
Yeah.
probably 13 inches or something.
Yeah. It's in my room, and the other one's in the living room.
I have 3.
Really?
Yeah, and my
All
biggest
right.
one is 36.
Wow.
So you
and
big-
you collect VHS?
No, I play old games.
Oh, right.
Do
they-
VHS matter? Do they look that much different on a CRT? Because I have a projector now,
Yeah, right.
and I've been meaning to hook up my VHS deck. I think I have
Yeah.
a couple VHS decks, but I have tons of tapes.
Yeah.
I have boxes and boxes.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah,
from-
they're not all. There are a lot of just stuff I made from like
That's
college
cool.
and
I
stuff.
mean,
awesome.
I have a lot of personal.
No, but I
VHS
do have
tapes, yeah.
I do have stacks of
Yeah.
good tapes that I've collected.
that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, you should.
And most of them are like, art videos or collections from when I used to do screenings back in Chicago.
You should
yeah.
make a big compilation and screen them at Whammy or
Yeah,
something.
that would be
I
amazing.
should do that.
That's a cool
They
go
would love
through all
that
that
kind of
stuff.
thing.
Yeah.
I should do that.
Yeah.
I'd have to probably they play it off of VHS tape, right?
They do, or they can, but we
Because
also
it would be like I would have to take a piece from this one, and
right.
I need to
Yeah.
get my VHS editing bay back.
You can also play it digital. We showed our stuff digital.
Okay.
Although
That'd be a
it would
shame.
be fun to show this on VHS
Yeah,
at
it's
some
true.
point.
So
Yeah.
did you guys make all 3 of these?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So the first one we made for Alex's birthday. Do you want to tell the story of that? I don't know. If
I
there,
mean, yeah, we just went and saw last October. We saw there was like a double feature of Mario Bava movies at the theater. Is it the $1 Million Theater?
yeah, downtown.
And,
Mario Bava?
Mario Bava. He's like an Italian, like Gaio is what it's called. They're the yellow movies. They're like the really trashy you know, early slashers of just like really long scenes of a woman like screaming while the
Okay.
camera like pans really slowly.
Is there
just
a lot
that
of
kind of
boobs
stuff.
and stuff?
Yeah, like not so
Not
much as
There's a
in
lot
the
of
80s.
black gloves.
It's not like a skin flick.
No, it's
No.
like more
Oh, okay.
60s, like a little more tame,
Oh, okay.
but or 70s, I guess.
Just like not at all like scary, just very like
Oh.
goofy,
very
I see.
stylized.
very stylized, very colorful. And it's also all to make the budget really cheap. They wouldn't record any of the audio so that it could be sold to other countries for really cheap and people could overdub it. So it's got this very specific look with the like American overdubs on these like Italian actors. And we were just like, we could make one of
Yeah.
those.
Did you dub it?
Yeah, we
and
did.
yeah, so
It's
Jackson-
all-
That's why we do the two crews
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, really?
It's like all you need is a camera. No
Right.
sound.
Right.
The sound is harder. It's more annoying to record sound than it is the picture.
Totally. And we could get a bunch of our friends that are not actors to do stuff because we're like, it's all going to be overdubbed anyway. It's like, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Are they like an Italian movie? Not their lips are not going to be synced with what the words are, or because in the
Right.
Two-Wet Crew they're
synced.
saying the words and then the overdub
Well, the
is
Italian
what it
movie
was
was to be done in any language, so
right. So
Yeah.
there's that era where it was clear, like
That's
the
my
Kung
question.
Fu era, right?
Yeah.
My question is are their lips just kind of going like that, and then they're saying whatever, or what, or are they saying what?
Oh yeah,
you're
just keeping it
supposed to be
tight.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's not tight.
It's
no.
not tight.
No, it's
no.
not tight.
No, not
Well,
at
what's crazy is we got a bunch of people to do this one. We filmed it in like one night. And then we had Jackson come over, and he did all of the voices for the first
Volleyball
one.
Jackson. Yeah.
And so yeah, he's doing Will Duncan's voice and whatever.
Yeah.
And
I think Will was there. There was.
but Will did somebody else's
Oh
voice.
yeah. It was very chaotic to do just add everybody's voices on top of this already really crazy footage. But it was so easy to make in that way, and we did all of these that way. They're all overdubbed, and so we just would bring a VHS camera to shoot it, and
So shot on VHS.
yeah, it's
Okay.
shot on VHS-C that's the kind of camera.
That's really shitty. Because we used to. My dad had one.
yeah. Should we
Does
get
it go at a slower rate? There's something about the C that makes it always a little hard to.
Yeah.
The tracking is always a little
Janky.
janky, a little fuzzy, and the corners are.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, we've
Pretty fuzzy
definitely.
corner.
It's gotten crazy as we've started
Are you
to
shooting
record.
SP or EP or SLP?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, we're.
Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
SP is standard play.
Okay.
SLP is
So-
the worst.
Yeah, so it's going at a faster speed, so
Yeah.
it's a better.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
almost like a record at a 78 will have a
Right.
richer sound than a 16 RPM record.
Yeah.
Right,
You'll
right.
So SP is the best. Then you got
LP.
LP,
And-
long play, and then SLP.
Right.
Sometimes
What
called EP, extended play.
So like in a 2-hour tape with standard play, you can get you'll get 2 hours.
Right,
But
right.
then you'll get 4 hours with LP, and you'll get 6 hours
6
with
hours.
SLP.
Wow.
But the quality is really
shit.
poor.
Right.
Yeah, if you do it that way.
Okay. Wow.
Really poor.
Well, we should look into that.
yeah, check your settings.
Yeah, I gotta
check your
check my settings.
Make sure it's SP. Unless you're going for that low.
Unless you're going for
super
really
lo-fi.
bad, yeah.
These are kind of the things that we've been trying to avoid by using that camera, is not having to sort of learn anything or think about anything at all.
Yeah, but there's just one setting you got to worry
Well,
about.
no,
That's it.
Get that SP.
You don't want, if it's working fine, don't worry about it.
No. We should
Don't
look into it. No, but I have noticed that sometimes the tape is a half hour and sometimes they're an hour, and I don't know if it's something like that.
It's the
or-
hour. It's your.
It could be the tape. Their
It could be a
tapes
tape.
vary in length too.
Yeah,
you know?
and we're
Yeah.
using all sorts of crazy tapes that we just find.
Are you taping over stuff?
We are, yeah. Which
Yeah, you-
really-
Family
what do you-
memories?
Yeah, we're taping over other people's family
Weddings
memories
and-
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
where-
Goodwill tapes or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you? Yeah. Is that what you do? You find tapes at Goodwill?
Well, we got the
you can't buy
cameras.
tapes anymore, can you? Or
You
what?
can.
You can. Okay.
We got I think we got 6 new tapes, but they're like $30 a package or something. So we've been using those ones. But I also got a camera. I got a camera at a flea market, and it had tapes in it, and we used those. I think those were the hour-long tapes.
Did you scan the tapes to make sure there's nothing good in there?
On there, no, I didn't. I looked through it. It was like sort of like a parade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like some people like at a It was just clearly a family's footage.
I love looking at that kind of stuff. Just family
I did
footage.
Feel a little
Me
weird
too.
about it. Yeah.
I've always wanted to put together a screening where people bring like family footage,
Home movies,
and just like some highlights, and just play like 5 minutes of.
There's
it's so
on
great.
on YouTube, you know. There's a lot. People upload a lot of their just home footage and stuff, and or you know, someone took a camera to their high school in the '80s, you know, in the '90s or something like that, and you just sort of see what life is like, or to the mall, you know, in the '90s or the '80s.
Yeah, it's good when they, like there can be some really good stuff, but if it's just like your kid on a swing set, that's gonna be boring.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a million miles of that footage.
Right.
But yeah, when people are like going into places and really seeing a slice of life, like there's a famous 7-Eleven video.
Oh yeah.
It's called like 7-Eleven 1991 or something.
Yeah. There's also,
and it's just a guy going, what's like interviewing every single person.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And just going up to, and they're like, what are you doing here? Why do you have that camera? It's really cool.
You know, I have this VHS camera, you know, it just takes the tapes, and I found it in how I got it was I used to live with this guy, and he was kind of an interesting guy. I didn't really know him too well, but I got to know him, I guess, a little bit. But I guess to give you an example of the way he was is, you know, he took this dance class, but anyway, he would come home and he'd go, oh yeah, this dance class is working my ass. And then one time he said, I don't know about you. He used to kind of look like this. I don't know about you, but last night a girl came into my room and she was wearing velvet panties. And then he would also say totally a lot. He'd go totally like that. Anyway, so it was like that. Anyway, he had this camera. And he said, hey, I'm selling this. You want to buy it for me? And I said, well, how much? And I forgot what he said, but I said, no, I'm all right. And then then a week later, I was taking the trash out and I saw it in the trash. And I took it out, you know? And then and there was a tape in there.
Yeah.
It was some French porno. They didn't even play it the right. It was PAL or something. I don't know.
Right,
Maybe
right.
a PAL tape won't even fit in there. But anyway, it was some
PAL
kind of
tape will fit. It's just the way it's written on the magnet.
something like that. It didn't
so
even
it was
work.
an actual. It wasn't recorded on the camera somehow.
No, it was in the
just
tape. It was
stuck into the
Oh no,
camera.
this stuff stuff tapes onto a tape that's in there, right?
Right. Oh, okay. So.
Oh, that's not how yours is? Oh, I thought that's what it was. You put the tape in, and doesn't it record onto the tape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, wait, but the porno was
It was in the camera already.
right,
Yeah.
and it was a tape, like a big VHS tape, like a normal one.
Yeah, full size. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Right.
So, but
Like
then
a
anyway,
consumer
I
tape.
ended up making a documentary about this guy, and I used his camera.
Wow.
I don't think he put it together that was the camera that I used. I made a short documentary. It was like a 10-minute documentary about him, and I shot it all on that camera that I found in the trash that was his. That had originally had a French porno in it. Kind of interesting little full circle.
Did you tape over the
Yeah.
French porno?
No, I
Or did you
got
take
rid
that-
of it.
Oh, you didn't take that French porno to like a video conversion? Hi, can you convert this from PAL to NTSC?
Right. I should have done that. But I was curious if there was any freaky stuff on that tape. You know, I did scan through it a little bit because I thought, oh, this might have some velvet panty kind of action on here or whatever. I don't know. You know, I thought, what kind of freaky stuff is on this tape? But it was just some thing that didn't. You know, it wasn't.
When I was in college, I worked at a place where I would transfer home movies to VHS. And yeah, I saw. It was just a freaky scene.
Yeah,
it was a
God.
freak
Sure.
scene. Man.
Oh,
It
really?
was like,
What did you see?
well, most of it was Super 8.
Oh, wow.
You know, films from
Yeah.
like the 70s and 80s, and I have some from my childhood that I transferred over. But people would just bring those in, and I would just kind of sit there bored. It was like kind of like a projector with a camera lens in it, and I would just sort of watch it. I'm not like watching it super closely, and I would
Right.
dub music over it, just kind of like easy listening.
Nice.
You know, like
Right.
Herb Albert kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I had some go-to tapes. I had like some tapes. I would put Cat Stevens on there, stuff of the era kind of.
Yeah.
oh,
And
Wow, and it was
once in a while you get some weird stuff.
like what?
just
Because
an
I
old
did
Super 8.
16 millimeter films too.
Uh-huh.
This guy brought in a 16 millimeter black and white silent era film,
Wow.
but it was porn.
Really?
Whoa.
God.
And I wish I made a copy of it because it was like
It was silent era.
it's straight up cut to the screen of it was like, "Hello, ma'am, have a
Right.
seat right here." It was like
Yeah.
the text, you know, like
right.
it's like it was a casting couch. Like, "Hi, I'm
Really?
here for the audition."
Right.
Oh my
right.
God.
And then he's
Really?
like, "Sure, ma'am, just sit right here." And then, you know, the text comes on, and then he's like, it was something, you know, basically they're doing it, and he's like, "I have to put on my lambskin before we do
Oh,
this."
Oh
Wow.
God! Wow.
Yeah.
Really
Let me
dates
ask you
it.
something real quick.
And it
This
kept
was Jake-
breaking. I kept having to.
Put it back together.
I kept having to. Yeah, there was a little edit with a razor. I kept having to tape it back together over and over. And this thing was like in an attic for like 80 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
This is really from the 20s or something.
Yeah, this really was old. It was not like some.
It was not something
No,
from the
this was-
50s that was trying to look like it was from the
this
20s.
was, you
or
could
something.
tell this was the
That's
real deal.
really cool. You
I
definitely
should've-
should have.
I blew
That's
it.
really historical. man.
Yeah.
Somebody's got people collect that crap. Somebody's
Right.
got that.
Yeah.
film
I
out
have to
there.
imagine that it was still like vaudevillian, like the way they were like running around, kind of still.
It's
like,
all
have that
exaggerated.
idea
It's all high
Yeah.
speed.
that they're all.
They're like
Yeah.
jacking a penis off, but it's all like comical or something, or it's like overly. They're kind of going like this
Yeah, exactly.
or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating.
I feel like that's something you would find in LA. We do a lot of estate sale shopping. That's our
Yeah.
our real passion.
That's your real passion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the
You
best
go to
thing
the
you
States
found at
together?
an estate sale?
I got this suit at an estate sale. I
Really?
got this suit at
Nancy Sinatra's old house, actually.
Nancy Sinatra's
Really?
house. That's how they advertised it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a
You didn't get any boots,
good,
right?
good
Yeah, I was gonna
find.
ask the same thing.
They were all walking away.
Right.
I was
They
gonna
all
ask the same
walked
thing. I
away.
bet the boots went quick. I bet if you went to Nancy Sinatra's estate still, people got
Yeah.
the boots sold out in minutes.
Boots are gone.
The boots are out of there. The boots were those boots ended up becoming made for running because they went so quick in the end.
Yeah.
But that's cool. You
So
go to
got
estate
that.
sales together.
What else? Have you found anything good?
I buy a lot of books for the store and
Oh.
myself there. Like, you know, some first edition stuff, which is really cool. But also, I like going through, I like old pamphlets, like about LA and stuff. Like, there'll be like historical neighborhood houses in this historical neighborhood and how your city can work for you, and like little paper pamphlets I find all the time. I don't know.
You
I
guys
just
like old stuff.
feel like-
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean VHS, and you like old stuff. You like old stuff.
Yeah,
Old film.
old stuff.
Old film.
Yeah.
too.
Like old
Well, his
stuff.
music
Yeah.
is kind
And
of
your- and
old,
your music.
old style, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not. It's more like 70s ish.
Yeah.
I got a 70s sound.
But like also
Definitely.
you have all the gear, right?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
you like
yeah.
do you record it
I
on
do.
analog too?
I do, yeah. I have a 8-track Tascam tape recorder that I use. That's it's great. I think there's something about just analog stuff and using old gear that is really like simplifies things for me. I like to just have it be simple. Like you can only do so much, and it's going to look that way or sound that way, and then it's done. And that makes it so that we can do the stuff we're trying to do really fast, which I like.
yeah,
and do
man,
a lot of it.
What a drag it is sometimes when you're shooting something. And it takes half an hour to light something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't it nice when you just can run and gun? You know, just
Yeah.
boom, let's get this
Yeah.
shot. Boom, next shot.
We
reverse.
have a total warped idea of what it means to make something, because to make these, I mean, a lot of the scenes took like probably 10 minutes to do, because I have been doing a lot of comedy videos that are shot on an iPhone, which is the same.
No, that's okay, right?
Right, yeah.
Very funny, very funny.
Thanks.
Yeah, those are very
Those
good.
are really funny. yeah.
Thanks.
Is that group split
Defunct?
up or what's going on?
Well, no. Well, we've just been all working on different projects right now, so it's kind of it's
Who's in that group? What's the official members?
well.
Will
That's a
Duncan?
good question. Yeah, Will Duncan,
Eli.
Yeah, Gabe Ross, and then Eli Leonard. I'd say those are the real crew. But then Andrea Bambina, she's been in videos with us, and we have like a big group of people that have joined us and things.
Don't you get that girl that was in
Euphoria.
Euphoria?
Yeah. Chloe Cherry. She's been in a
How
few
does that?
videos.
How did you get her?
She
in your
weirdly,
videos?
she's like one of the first people I met when I moved to LA. She like
Where?
I was working at American Idol, and I was a
What?
PA
Whoa.
on American Idol.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
She was on that?
No, she wasn't on it, but one of her best friends was also a PA on it, and so I met through one of the PAs there, which is so absurd. But the but you know, she's just been into doing comedy videos and stuff, and then she got on Euphoria and is a big star now. So, and now she still wants to do comedy videos, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the idea of making things with an iPhone or with a VHS camera is just like, you know.
Well, sometimes
Better.
the limitations are just more freeing or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Now, what's this? Now you're putting together a feature film.
Yeah,
That's your big new project.
it is.
You're going feature.
We're going feature. We're going debut.
Feature debut.
Now, you have a website
Yeah.
that people can learn about it and contribute. What is that called?
It's well, the film. Okay, the
Here,
film
I
is
can
called.
hold up.
Oh, you already got the merch.
Yeah, we got the merch.
Evil
Blood
Dead
Barn.
style.
Nice.
Blood Barn.
Blood Barn.
Yeah, the film is called Blood Barn.
That's like Blood Beach, but a barn.
Have you seen
Yeah.
that movie?
No, but my sister and I always used to. We never ended up watching it, but I do know about the people get sucked into the sand. and
Yeah, we
stuff.
were just
Yeah.
watching a trailer the other day. It looks
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, it just made me think of Blood Beach. Though.
Okay, so
are you
Blood
kind of going
Barn.
for that a little bit?
Yeah, totally.
It's like a barn that sucks people
Taking
in.
off the glasses.
They-
Now
You
the
get-
glasses off. Now the
Glasses
serious.
are off.
Now we know
Now
what you
we-
really look like.
You get sucked into the hay. Into the hay.
Into the hay.
yeah.
That's a good. We kind of. Well, I won't spoil
That's
anything.
actually good. Yeah,
But we're talking about things. We're talking about
We're
things.
talking about that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we basically had so much sort of motivation from making these really easy to make horror short films, and we had, I think, like 6 or 7 screenings of them. Yeah, 7, and they were not hard to make. They were super fun and super easy. And so we kind of thought, what would happen if we put a little bit of work into it and tried to make a full feature that that people would get excited about in the feature kind of way.
Yeah.
Did you write the script?
We wrote the script. Yeah. The impetus of the project was this basically this barn that we have access to in my hometown in Massachusetts. That's sort of a famous old recording studio where a bunch of musical acts used to record, and it's kind
Who
of
used to record there? Band of Horses?
Band of Horses,
Mountain Goats?
You know what?
The Animals.
I almost
The
want
The
to.
Animals?
Yep. Yeah. The Rolling Stones were there. That's the biggest
What?
one. Yeah. And Jay Giles Band is another one that is in that realm. But also,
By the way, did you know that, real quick? You know that the original Facebook logo is Jay Giles?
Huh?
The original Facebook logo has a guy's face, and it's Jay Giles.
the guitar
why?
player?
I think.
This doesn't sound right.
Am I right about
We're
that?
going to look
Aaron?
that up after the break.
Maybe there's a Boston connection there. 'Cause
Yeah, I think
it's a
I'm right. I
Harvard
think that's
thing.
something like that. But whatever, carry on.
do you mean? Well, okay.
Aaron's going to have
That's the
to look
guitar
that
player of the band, I think. Jay Giles was the guitar player,
Yeah, maybe him.
and
up. Well, who was the singer?
Peter Wolf.
Wait, so the Jay Giles Band,
Yeah.
Jay Giles isn't singing?
Yeah,
No,
they
he's
do
not
that
singing.
sometimes.
The hell's that?
They do that sometimes.
I guess he put the band together.
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I've seen that actually. With them, it's
Imagine
not,
being the singer of a band and it's like
Yeah.
some other guy's name.
Yeah.
it's kind of
Man, You got to be a real cuck.
crazy.
They do that. I've seen
You got to
that.
be a real cuck to do that.
Well, yeah. So
You got access to the barn.
we got access to this barn, and yeah, basically my godmother was the manager of this place, and she owns the barn, and it's sort of seen better days, and it hasn't been a running recording studio for the last like 15 years, and so so it's just there to be used for something like this, and it's the perfect location for 80s sort of horror film, which is what we're trying to make. So with that opportunity, we were like, all right, we're already making these short films, and now what would we do if we we're going to shoot something there? And then we wrote the script for Blood Barn. And now we're going to make it.
And you want to just have it really adhere and look a lot like it was made back then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that we're focusing on making it look like it was made back then, but but just that it
wants to feel like it, though.
Yeah, I mean, those are the things we're inspired by.
Yeah.
So,
Did you see that movie that was kind of recent? That's like a throwback horror movie, 80s style.
The Witch, Love Witch.
No, it's like a girl. She's like house sitting or something. You know what I'm talking about, Aaron?
Two little kids in a house.
Huh?
It's two little kids in a house.
No, I
It's
saw
really
another one
moody.
where there's a girl. She's
House
like,
of the Devil?
that's it.
Yeah.
House of the
Ty
Devil.
West.
Did you see that one?
No, I
We
never
watched
heard
T
of it.
West. Is it not? Is it T?
Isn't it? I don't know.
Ty?
It's Key West.
No one's name is T.
Key West. That's
It's
the
Key West.
That's the song by the Village People, and they're from the 70s.
Okay.
So
right.
there you go.
That's what we were thinking.
Obviously.
It's interesting
Let's sort it out.
talking to you about this stuff because your I don't know, colleague, you would say, Will Duncan was on the show, and he was very much. He doesn't like old stuff, or he didn't want to watch any movies before 1985. He said, if it's before 1985, I'm not even interested.
Yeah.
And it seems like you're interested in everything pre-85.
Right.
It seems right. Maybe
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
70s stuff.
That's
and,
true. Yeah, that's
VHS,
true.
Earlier
Yeah.
VHS, maybe.
Yeah, I think more and more I want to revert to that, to just I think only technology-wise, just a simpler time. I think that's really in terms of technology and art with technology. That's kind of the stuff I want to be a part of.
I know. I hear that. Me too.
So you don't like this AI stuff?
It's really been a conversation.
Oh, did AI write your script?
Oh, really?
No.
Are you AI?
Well, no, we're against it. I'm against it, I'll say. I'm against, technology, computers. They're good tools.
You're AAI.
I don't know. I'm figuring that out, I think. Maybe we're
AAI.
all sort of figuring that. Where do you guys stand on AI?
It kind of depends what you mean, but
You've got some AI bits you've been doing.
oh yeah, I've been playing around with those.
Yeah.
It's fun to make a little image if you want, instead of doing a Google search. You want like funny looking guy with
yeah.
whatever specific thing. He's on a horse or whatever. You just make it. And you just have it made real quick. That's
Right.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think it's fun for comedy purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of scary for script writing purposes because I've never used Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Because anyway, I did something called Chat GTP. So I keep getting it mixed up. But I never used it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we definitely didn't.
I don't want to see a movie made AI.
No,
I like stuff
absolutely
I like
not.
to think that came from someone's brain when I'm
Absolutely.
watching.
I'm happy
listening to music or anything.
Well, especially anything.
You're happy to watch it?
No, I'm happy to be amused by some picture someone made or whatever briefly, but
Right.
I've never engaged with it myself.
Yeah.
I'm not putting in. I'm not really. I don't care really. I just don't even care.
Yeah.
I just kind of I like old stuff too. Actually, and I like to.
Yeah.
I want to make it very clear we did not use AI to make the script at all. The point of contention has been the poster, is wanting to have a really cool, very specific looking poster, all of the 80s style, but trying to find an artist who can do that in the right zone.
I used AI. I used AI to make the poster, and so it's created a lot of conversation,
Tension.
a lot of tension.
You guys are breaking up.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Use
I don't
the
know
tools.
if it's gonna work out.
There's a line. You want to use the tools.
Yeah, I like the term tool. In terms of that, this image was made by a friend of ours, and he did a lot of work It was made by Justin Hance. Thank you, Justin.
Otherwise known as Mr. Hands.
Mr. And it was took him a lot of work, but he did utilize AI as a tool. And so it's interesting. Yeah. So maybe we'll be regretting some of these things in the future, but I think for now we're okay. But I have seen videos this week that really did convince me that they were real for the first time I saw it, but I knew something was weird about it, and I watched it again and I say, okay, wait a second, there's something going on here, and then I would like look in the comments and people would be like, AI, and I was like, wow.
So it's getting close. They almost closed that gap.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
The valley.
The valley is
the
closing.
Uncanny valley is almost.
It's not a valley anymore.
Almost
There's a plateau.
A screenshot I took of this woman on Facebook that I, am friends with from when I was a kid or something, and she just posted.
Turns out she's AI.
And she's AI.
This whole time.
Old-fashioned AI. No, but she posted a photo that just says, like, bikini contest at what is it?
At a retirement home.
Yeah, bikini.
I saw that.
You saw this.
I saw the photo.
And she shares it and it's just like, I love to see this, And it's just 100% a completely AI image of all these like buff old ladies.
She thought it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are getting duped.
Yeah, I didn't even see.
I got duped by one recently, but then I was like, not fully duped. I'm gonna repost it, but I'm like, this is crazy. When did this happen?
What was it?
It was like, Burning Man was cooler in 1964.
Oh, right.
So it was people in the desert with these like super futuristic cars, but they looked like something,
in the 60s.
Like that retro futuristic style.
Right.
It was like people in the desert in the 60s, kind of like doing Burning Man stuff. But
Wow.
it was a slideshow. It wasn't pure video. It was a slideshow of pictures. I was like, whoa, what happened? Is this some like Buckminster Fuller kind of thing or something?
Yeah.
And then a couple slides in, someone's DJing with like modern decks are like in the background. I'm like, okay, wait, what? And then I look at the comments. They're like, AI is great, or like, what did you do? What prompts did you use to make this so perfect? I mean, it looked really good.
Well, also, Burning Man didn't even happen in the 60s. Yeah.
Well, no, you know how they say, I thought it was like some other effect.
Oh, some
other
event.
They'll be like,
right.
Like Liquid Death was cooler back when it was called something. You know what I mean? It's like, I thought that's how they were framing it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, my mom used to send me videos. She sent me a video only a few years ago. You've probably seen it. It's a pretty viral video on the internet that somebody made, animated, of like
Mr. Hands?
like some sort of like roller coaster or ride, but it's like throwing people up into the air, and it's just like not a thing that can exist at all. And my mom like sent it to me and was like, we have to figure out where this is at. And so the fact that would get her at that point, it freaks me out to think about people just having
I think, it's just going to be more and more convincing. I do think that is terrifying. I don't know.
Sometimes people get like, I see these videos of somebody getting like, doing something really crazy and they're getting super hurt, or their bodies are flying. I've seen a few videos like that. And then I'm like, oh no, that dude's like dead. Yeah. And then it's like, somebody says it's not necessarily AI, but faked.
Right.
Those faked videos have been going for a long time.
I mean, that's true.
Remember that one of the bird picking up a baby? It was like a giant hawk swooped down, and it looked really real.
Right.
And this was like an original video that was digitally done, but they did such a good job that people thought it was real.
There was the one of the monkeys who get the guns.
See that one.
Just saying these videos.
But I feel like this
Anyway,
was like promotion for a movie or something.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a lot of
People were
times
always
it's
getting
paid
duped.
for by, it's like an ad.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were getting
Viral.
duped from the beginning of days.
Well, I am kind of obsessed with those videos that are purposefully made, like curated viral videos. Do you know those videos where like they'll like show like, don't underestimate someone who's dressed this way or something. And it's like somebody talking outside of I saw one recently where someone like didn't allow someone to come into their restaurant or something. And then because of the way they were dressed. And then the guy who's dressed that way calls, a car, and the car comes up and he says, you don't realize that I'm actually a millionaire. but you shouldn't judge people the way that they look. And everybody there is an actor, you know.
Yeah.
But it was filmed from like way across the street. It was the weirdest video.
Right.
And it's just
I love those.
Yeah.
Fabricated like moments like that.
But you know
Very
what though?
strange.
Actually, you know, if that was real,
Yeah.
I see where the guy at the restaurant is coming from. I mean, I don't care if you're rich.
Right.
You gotta. There's a dress code here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
adhere
Nice
to the
clothes
dress
on.
code. I don't care. You can have all the money in the world. You're not coming in here
Yeah.
with a shirt, with a tie-dye shirt like that, working at 6911. It's like 7-Eleven, but
Yeah.
it's 6911. It's like a different take on it, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, we've gone over the time, over the
Okay,
normal
let's-
hour.
let's go to
So
our
why don't you guys
Oh, yeah.
plug what
I'm
you want
sorry.
to plug?
Oh yeah.
I hope you guys were able to talk about everything you wanted to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get out there.
Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
thank
What's
you
the
again for
website
having
people
us.
can go to?
Well, we're
Blood Barn Movie.
bloodbarndoutfilm.com.
Aha.
Yeah.
Doug,
Elevate.
please.
We got the
Elevated.
URL. Yeah.
And where can they find your music? GabeBernini.bandcamp.com?
Gabriel
Spotify.
Bernini.
Gabe what?
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Gabriel.
Crazy way to say your name.
Gabriel.
It sounded like you were saying Gabriel.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
The real Gabe. The real
Gabriel.
Gabe.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Yeah, I'm ready to change it. I am. I have been
Back
for a
to the
long
full
time.
Gabriel.
Well, it is Gabriel, but
I know, but
well,
nobody calls you that.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll change it to Gabriel. Yeah, I like that.
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
I mean, you could use your last name's cool. It kind of sounds like
Yeah,
an
pretty
Italian
good. It is really cool.
director's name.
Bernini.
Thank you.
And
Um,
Alex, do you have anything you want to plug or anything?
No.
Social media or anything?
Yeah.
Alexandra
You don't-
Jade. I do have a website for events, readings that I do. I have a monthly show, Bric-a-Brac, that happens at
Oh, you know
stores.
what we can mention also is our dual project is called Gold Standard Productions.
Oh, that's good.
Which
Yeah.
we officially have. We have an LLC
And
of Gold Standard Productions. No one else had that, which is
Yeah, I
very
noticed
surprising.
that. Gold Standard, I figured that was your production company. I'm like,
Yeah.
that
That's
sounds
pretty good.
like classic.
Yeah,
Standard.
yeah.
Gold Standard?
Gold Standard.
Nobody has that.
No,
That's wild.
that's us. We have it.
That's us.
Well, you better live up to that. But we trust you to do so.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Do you guys want to stick around for a little bit for
You were saying
Bonus
Maybe we could put you in the
Patreon
hot,
only?
maybe we could put you in the hot seat.
Ooh.
I would love to be in the hot seat.
Oh no,
I
then
would
we'll
love
talk
to-
about if you have anything that annoys you,
Right.
and then we'll put you in the hot seat.
Anything.
Sounds
well,
good.
Yeah, we talked about
Gets in the hot
AI.
seat.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Okay,
sweet.
thank you guys for
Thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere unless you need to take a break.
Blood
And
Barn.
everyone else, if you want to keep
Oh, wait, thank
listening,
you. Yeah.
go to patreon.com/poundcast. Sign up to our Patreon and be a real pound pimple.
Thank you to Jack Birch behind the scenes.
Hey, let's see that.
Thank you to Aaron Bruntgart behind the scenes. And thank you to Daniel Avila.
That's cool.
And I just wanted to thank those people. And yeah, October 11th through the 14th, Punchline Comedy Club. Check it out.
And I'll be on tour with Eric Andre. EricAndreTour.com. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Stick around.
A lot of people think I'm Dutch, but I'm not Dutch. I'm a businessman. This nickel back here, there is no need.
Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent. Talking to each other. Doug and Brent. What will they talk about to Doug and Brent? Are talking to some pimples. Doug and Brent. Doug and Brent talking on the